money. It's something we all deal with daily. But have you ever stopped to think about whether you're in control of your money, or is your money controlling you? They say true freedom comes when we master our wealth, but the opposite can trap us in a cycle of stress, debt, and financial struggle. It's a fine line, isn't it? Yet when we figure out the principles that truly govern money, it can be life-changing. Think about it. No matter what your goals are, whether you dream of traveling the world, owning your own home, or simply building a safety net for your family, we all want to achieve financial success. But how do we actually get there? What sets the wealthy apart from those still struggling? What are the rules they know that we don't? That's exactly what we're going to uncover today. This isn't your average money advice. We're breaking down the 12 essential rules that can help you take control of your finances, escape the paycheck-to-paycheck grind, and create the freedom you deserve. If you're ready to unlock the keys to financial freedom and rewrite your money mindset, stick around. This could change everything.
Number 1. Make money work for you.
Here's the hard truth, and it's one that separates the wealthy from everyone else. The rich don't work for their money. They make their money work for them. Sounds simple, right? But this single principle is the foundation for building sustainable wealth. Here's how it works. The wealthy understand that there are only 24 hours in a day, which means relying entirely on your time to make money will eventually hit a ceiling. Instead of grinding, day after day, they focus on creating systems that generate income, whether they're working, sleeping, or even on vacation. This might come in the form of real estate investments, stock dividends, businesses, or other passive income streams. Simply put, they've mastered the art of turning their money into an employee. Take this example. A business owner who hires great talent to manage the operations of their company can focus on high-level strategic growth rather than being bogged down in the daily grind. On the other hand, someone who spends all their time working for someone else will often have no time left to think about their own future goals or invest in themselves. But it doesn't stop at income. The rich also approach spending differently. They plan, they budget, they know exactly where every dollar is going, ensuring their money is utilized effectively. They also prioritize emergency funds, ensuring no unexpected event throws them into financial disarray. The poor? They often live paycheck to paycheck with little room for error. The cycle of working hard just to make ends meet leaves them no time or energy to focus on long-term wealth-building strategies. Understand this key rule now. When you allow your money to work for you, rather than you working for your money, you create a life of abundance. The earlier you start, the greater the compound effect over time. Break free from the endless cycle of trading time for money by learning to invest and build passive income streams. Number 2, money attracts money. Here's the thing about money that no one tells you. It's magnetic. The more you have, the more it attracts, not just in dollar amounts, but in opportunities, knowledge, and even relationships. You've probably heard the saying, like attracts like, and when it comes to wealth, nothing could be more true. Wealthy people often surround themselves with others who share a similar mindset and financial status. It's not that they avoid hanging out with people of lower economic brackets. It's that their lifestyle naturally aligns with others who have similar resources, goals, and ambitions. This isn't just about luxury dinners or exotic vacations. It's about shared ideas, opportunities, and habits that perpetuate wealth. Now, here's the kicker. If you want to become wealthy, you need to start by surrounding yourself with like-minded people who understand how money works. Spend time with financially successful individuals, not just to build connections, but to learn from them. These are the people who know where to invest, how to grow their income, and how to create opportunities that most people never even see. Think about it. If you constantly hang around people who complain about money and focus only on survival, it's easy to adopt that same mindset. But if you're surrounded by people making power moves, discussing investments, and setting massive goals, that energy rubs off on you. You begin to think bigger, act smarter, and see possibilities instead of limitations. But don't mistake this for elitism. This is about growth. If you're serious about financial success, make it a priority to befriend those who are already where you want to be. Engage with their habits, observe their strategies, and apply their principles to your own life. Over time, these habits and ways of thinking will become second nature, pulling you closer to the financial freedom you crave. Remember, money attracts money, but it starts with you stepping into an environment that fosters abundance. I will share it with you. Money loves risk takers. You've heard the saying, no risk, no reward, right? Well, this is one of the most important rules of money. If you want to grow financially, you have to be willing to take risks. Too often, people hesitate, holding on to what little they have out of fear they might lose it. But the reality? That fear itself can keep you poor. We need to talk about calculated risks. Successful people don't just throw their money at something and hope for the best. They do their research, assess the pros and cons, and then they act. The key word here is act. Sitting on the sidelines waiting for the perfect opportunity usually means you're missing out on dozens of good ones. When you're young, you have the advantage of time. A 23-year-old can afford to take a few gambles with their investments because they have decades ahead to recover and learn. But as you age, that window starts to shrink. Unfortunately, this is why so many people find themselves in financial limbo in their later years. They played it too safe. Now, don't get it twisted. Risk-taking doesn't mean being reckless. It means understanding that every big reward often involves stepping out of your comfort zone. Maybe it's starting a business, putting your money into an emerging market, or even learning a new high-income skill to change careers. The cost? It might be scary up front, but the upside potential is often worth it. The wealthiest individuals understand this perfectly. They diversify their investments, chisel down their risks, and chase opportunities others are too scared to touch. Life itself is filled with uncertainties, so why not bet on yourself? Learn the game, take the leap, and watch how money rewards your courage to risk. Number 4. Money hates lavish spenders. Here's a brutal truth. If you're not replenishing the money you spend, your wealth is destined to dry up. Imagine a jar of sugar. Every time you take some out, the supply gets smaller. If you don't keep refilling that jar, guess what? It's going to be empty. That's exactly how money works. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that wealth means unlimited spending. The flashy cars, the designer clothes, the luxury vacations, these things might scream success, but only when you're building wealth alongside these luxuries. For too many people, overspending on lavish items leads to financial instability rather than prosperity. The wealthy think differently. Sure, they'll enjoy luxuries, but they always have a plan to replace the funds they spend. They prioritize assets over liabilities. For example, instead of buying a flashy car the second they get a big paycheck, they might invest in a rental property. The rental income from that property? That's the same money they can later use to buy the car, guilt-free. You need to treat saving and investing as non-negotiables. Thornton T. Munger said it best. The habit of saving is itself an education. Saving teaches discipline. It helps you think ahead, prioritize what's important, and grow your wealth over time. The key is balance. Enjoy your money, but always strategize for the future. Before you upgrade to the latest gadget or splurge on a vacation, ask yourself, is this purchase helping me grow? If not, rethink it. Even small, consistent savings can snowball into substantial wealth over time. Never forget, money hates waste. If you're focused solely on spending, your financial freedom will remain out of reach. Learn to save, invest, and, most importantly, replenish your wealth with every dollar you spend. Number 5. Money is earned through crisis. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest financial minds of our time, famously said, "Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy." This golden rule applies not just to the stock market, but to every economic crisis you'll encounter in your lifetime. Crisis, by its nature, is a time of chaos and uncertainty, but for those who are prepared and alert, it's also a breeding ground for opportunity and massive financial gain. Here's how it works. During a crisis, prices often plummet. Whether it's real estate, stocks, or other assets, fear causes most people to sell and avoid risks. And yet, this is precisely when the wealthy step in. They see opportunities where others see problems. Imagine a $1 million 0 cents property suddenly being sold for $750,000 0 cents because the owner needs liquidity. Or consider how stock prices dip during economic downturns, creating an open door to buy valuable shares for pennies on the dollar. The rich understand that every storm passes, and when it does, those who were willing to act reap the rewards. Crises magnify needs and often shift the dynamics of supply and demand. For example, think about the pandemic. Industries like e-commerce, tech, and delivery services thrived because they addressed shifting needs. Crises like this don't eliminate opportunity, they create it. If you have liquidity or savings during these times, you can capitalize, turning short-term chaos into long-term gains. Preparation is the key, and the next economic downturn will come. And when it does, your ability to act will depend on how well you've saved and planned. Instead of fearing the inevitable cycle of crises, see it as your chance to build wealth. Start setting aside money now. Learn to recognize undervalued opportunities during challenging times. Those who step forward when others retreat are the ones who thrive in the aftermath. Make no mistake, tough times create the best financial opportunities of your life. If you plan wisely, the next crisis won't be your downfall, it will be your breakthrough. Number 6. Money is easy to earn and harder to maintain. Here's something no one tells you up front about money. Earning it is often the easy part. Keeping it, that's where the real challenge lies. Imagine this scenario. A real estate agent sells a luxury home worth $6 million, 0 cents, and takes home a $200,000 0 cents commission check in 1 month. They're ecstatic. Their lifestyle changes. They start spending as though this enormous paycheck is the new normal. The problem? It's not. Over time, reality sets in, and the $200 0 cents gets burned through faster than they imagined. This is what we call the big check syndrome. It's something both new millionaires and even average earners experience when they suddenly come into large sums of money. The influx creates a false sense of security. Instead of thinking long-term or planning how to grow that money, people celebrate by splurging. The sports car they had their eye on suddenly feels within reach. Vacations, clothing, dinners out, all seem like no big deal. Then, the money is gone. The statistics don't lie. Each year, around 80% of newly minted millionaires lose their millionaire status. It's important to understand that just because money comes easily once doesn't mean it will keep flowing. Financial success is a practice, one that requires discipline, planning, and strategy. Here's the fix. Whenever you come into a large sum of money, resist the urge to spend it impulsively. Instead, treat that money as capital to grow further wealth. Invest it, save it, and have a clear breakdown of how it will sustain you. Money thrives when it's used wisely, not when it's spent carelessly. Think of money like a seed. Plant it, nurture it, and it'll grow into a tree that bears fruit year after year. But if you consume it all the moment it's in your hands, you'll have nothing left to sow for the future. Never fall prey to the big check syndrome, whether you're earning $2,000 0 cents or $200 0 cents. Good habits, not luck, are what keep you financially secure. Number 7. Money loves secrecy. If you learn anything about money, learn this rule right now. Not all of your wealth should be public knowledge. Keeping some level of financial secrecy isn't just smart, it's essential for protecting yourself and your assets. Here's why. When people know how much money you have, they adjust their behavior. Suddenly, everyone has requests. Family members in need of loans, friends who just need a little help, or acquaintances presenting incredible opportunities for investment. While helping others is noble and completely fine when it's on your terms, constant requests for money can strain even the strongest relationships. And here's the thing, if you refuse to help repeatedly, people can turn on you, accusing you of being stingy or uncaring. That's why a secret account matters. Imagine having financial reserves that only you know about. No family member can guilt-trip you into handing it over, no one can leverage it to manipulate you, and it provides a safety net for emergencies in your life. When business is slow, when unexpected bills hit, or when life simply throws you a curveball, that secret fund could be the difference between financial disaster and staying afloat. Warren Buffett himself advises, do not disclose everything to anyone. When it comes to money, it's better to be private. Openness can breed vulnerability. That doesn't mean you should be sneaky in a way that undermines your relationships, but keeping certain financial details secure can keep you from becoming a target. It's simple. Not everyone needs to know what you're earning, what you're saving, or what you have tucked away. Make secrecy part of your financial strategy and watch how much smoother your relationships and financial planning become. Number 8. Money hates stagnation. Money has one golden rule that too many people overlook. Money hates standing still. Just like water that remains stagnant becomes stale and murky, money that doesn't circulate loses its potential to grow. A dollar that just sits in a random checking account isn't doing anything for you. Over time, you're actually losing value because inflation will eat away at its power. But here's the good news. Keeping your money moving doesn't mean recklessness. It means strategy. When money is invested, it multiplies. Think about it. If you put your cash into a profitable business venture, stocks, real estate, or even a side hustle, chances are you'll start to see gains. Stagnant money, on the other hand, tends to shrink. Imagine you're continuously putting money into a failing business. You're losing, not growing. Similarly, if you keep a large sum parked in a low-interest savings account, you're not maximizing your financial potential. This rule also applies to income diversification. One stream of income might provide stability, but it limits your wealth-building opportunities. The wealthiest individuals diversify. They invest in different sectors, own multiple properties, or start several businesses. Diversification ensures your money is always on the move, growing in various directions. However, don't misunderstand this. Everyone still needs a safety fund, as mentioned earlier. A secret emergency account adds to your security, but your overall strategy should be to keep the bulk of your wealth circulating and generating returns. Money stagnates when you stop working for growth, so don't fall into the trap of complacency. Stay alert. Diversify. Make your money hustle just as hard as you do. That's how you build a fortune that lasts. Number 9. Money is a game of exchange. Here's something that radically shifts how you look at money. Money isn't created out of thin air. It's part of a constant cycle of exchange. But here's the catch. Not all exchanges are equal. Some people earn money while others make it. The difference may seem subtle, but it's a game changer when it comes to achieving financial freedom. Earning money happens when you trade your time, skills, or labor for a paycheck. A typical 9-to-5 job is a prime example. You clock in, put in hours, and receive a set salary. While reliable, this exchange has a ceiling. Why? Because your time is finite. You can only work so many hours in a week, and once you hit that limit, you've capped how much you can earn. Now, making money? That's an entirely different ballgame. Making money happens when you create or offer something that generates revenue repeatedly. Think about an author who writes a book and earns royalties for years, or an entrepreneur who launches a product that sells like hotcakes. They put in effort up front, but the returns keep flowing, often for years, and sometimes even decades. Making money has no ceiling. It's scalable, limitless, and incredibly powerful for wealth building. But here's the kicker. Whether you're earning or making money, it always involves one crucial factor: value. Money goes from one person or business to another because of value. If you want money in your account, you need to provide something worth paying for, whether it's a service, a product, or even knowledge. Want more money? Create more value. It's that straightforward. Start thinking about the ways you engage in this game of exchange. Are you simply earning, or are you working toward making money? It's not an overnight shift, but once you begin creating things of value that produce ongoing returns, you'll find yourself winning the money game. Focus on this shift to create an unstoppable path to financial freedom. Number 10. Money loves to be controlled. Here's a brutal reality. If you don't control your money, it will control you. When your finances are left unchecked, it's easy to fall into patterns of overspending, rising debt, and financial chaos. The truth is, money doesn't thrive in a messy, disorganized environment. It loves structure, discipline, and a guiding hand. To take full control of your finances, you need to know everything about your money. How much money is coming in? Where is it going? What are your recurring expenses? How much are you saving and investing? These are questions you need to answer without hesitation. Make budget tracking a regular habit. Set aside time weekly or monthly to look at your bank balances, review your expenses, and adjust your spending habits. Be proactive rather than reactive. Think of money like a worker in your business. Without direction, it will wander aimlessly, achieving nothing. But when assigned specific tasks, it will start building your empire. Each dollar should have a job. Whether it's paying for essentials, funding investments, or even indulging in a well-earned treat, you need intentionality. Now here's where the stakes rise. When finances spiral out of control, debt enters the picture. Debt has a snowball effect, dragging people further into financial problems the longer it goes unchecked. Taking control early not only prevents this downward cycle, but also creates room for financial growth. You avoid late fees, high interest rates, and the stress that comes when money becomes overwhelming. If you don't regulate your money, it will regulate how you live, and not in a good way. Losing control means living paycheck to paycheck, borrowing more than you can repay, and constantly stressing over bills. On the flip side, control allows you to build wealth and plan for a future free from financial struggle. Take the reins now, and watch how your money transforms under disciplined management. Number 11. Money loves authenticity. Think about this. Some of the biggest fortunes in history have been built not by copying others, but by individuals blazing their own authentic trail. Money responds to originality. It flows to ideas, businesses, and innovations that stand out in a sea of sameness. If you want sustainable wealth, you need to harness your unique creativity and create your own wave. The business world is flooded with imitators. How many times have you seen one successful product or trend only to see 10 more copycats pop up overnight? But here's the thing. True financial success doesn't follow trends. It sets them. People are drawn to authenticity because it's rare and valuable. If you can offer something fresh, whether it's a product, service, or idea, money will inevitably find its way to you. This doesn't mean you shouldn't learn from those who came before you. The wealthy understand the power of mentorship, and they observe what works, but they don't stop there. They innovate. They adjust those lessons to fit their own ideas and build unique financial paths based on their strengths and goals. Authenticity doesn't mean starting from scratch. It means taking what you have and making it undeniably yours. For instance, think about legendary entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs. Apple wasn't the first company to make computers or phones, but Jobs' vision was unique. He created sleek, user-friendly products that merged design with functionality, setting Apple apart from competitors. That authenticity built an empire. Your financial path is no different. Find your niche, play to your strengths, challenge yourself to create something that feels true to who you are while offering value to others. Authenticity isn't just fulfilling, it's magnetic. When your vision is crystal clear and your ideas are rooted in originality, the financial rewards will follow. Number 12. Money can never be both the problem and the solution. Here's a mistake too many people make when confronted with financial struggles. They treat money as both the problem and the solution. They think, if I just borrow more, I can fix this. But you know what really happens? They dig themselves deeper into debt, creating an endless cycle that's nearly impossible to escape. Borrowing money to solve financial problems might feel like a quick fix, but it rarely addresses the real issue. If overspending got you into debt in the first place, borrowing more money only allows the cycle to continue. Debt escalates, stress increases, and financial freedom moves further out of reach. The key to breaking free from financial problems is increasing your income, not borrowing more. Start by exploring ways to bring in extra cash. A side hustle, a part-time job, or even starting an online business could generate the additional funds you need to solve your issues for good. The goal isn't to patch things up temporarily, it's to create lasting solutions. Focus on building skills that can boost your earning potential, whether it's learning a trade, developing a high-income skill like coding or graphic design, or even marketing your expertise online. There are countless ways to increase income and reduce reliance on debt. Money isn't the root problem. It's how you manage and generate it that makes all the difference. Don't fall into the trap of borrowing your way out of financial trouble. Instead, invest in yourself and your ability to create multiple income streams. When you shift from dependency to independence, you'll realize that money was never really the issue. It's always been about your approach and mindset. This rule is one of the most empowering of all. It puts control back in your hands. You're not at the mercy of loans or creditors. You have the power to change your financial situation by learning, growing, and earning more than you thought possible. Make the shift, and you'll never look at money the same way again.